Hello, hello. This is Victoria Wylde with Sedona Luxury Homes, and today I'm going to be showing you Red Rock Loop Road, which is a fabulous area in Sedona. It's not a neighborhood, it's an area. So as we go through, I'm going to be pointing out different neighborhoods, different features, different trailheads, and I'm going to be conducting this tour as if you were sitting here right beside me and we were out looking at properties together. I am a local real estate agent. My contact information is down below. So if you have any real estate questions, feel free to reach out. I would love to help you in any way I can. Buckle up, let's go. I'm going to flip you around and we're going to get started. All right. So Red Rock Loop Road is exactly what it sounds like. It is a loop and it's divided into two sections. So there's Upper Red Rock Loop and Lower Red Rock Loop. And we are going to start on Upper Red Rock Loop. If you wanted to Google map exactly where we are right now, this is the Sedona High School in front of us, which has a lovely performing arts area, theater, that we get a lot of great shows and talent come with violins and singing, and it's ballet, it's fabulous. But back to the road. So what you will notice on this road is it's this section of Red Rock Loop tends to be very, very windy. So I've taken clients down here before and they got very intimidated by this. But look at the views. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is my favorite time of day. And whenever I have to come out to Red Rock Loop in the afternoon, I do not complain. I love it. But anyways, this section of Red Rock Loop, the upper section tends to be much more windy and more switchbacky. But the lower section of Red Rock Loop, it's a pretty straight shot and much quicker to get back into town on. So keep that in mind. If you're thinking of moving out here, it's not like you would have to go up and down this road. I think this road is fabulous. I really wouldn't have a problem. I think it's gorgeous. So real quick, in front of us, that is Cathedral Rock to the left, which is Sedona's, I would say it's the crown jewel of Sedona. It's the rock you'll see the most used in logos and advertisements. And in the evening, it really lights up. The sun hits it incredibly. I just have to slow down. Just look at that. So this would be your view. Coming home every day. Not such a bad view. And you might be wondering, so we are driving through National Forest, and Red Rock Loop Road, you also end up leaving the city of Sedona and you just get into the county. So some of these neighborhoods, or all of these neighborhoods actually, you would be dealing with the county to build, not the city. And pros and cons to that, you are a little bit more out here on your own, where if you're going to have a house on Red Rock Loop, you most likely will have septic and a well, unless you're in one of these HOA subdivisions like Sedona Ranch or Cross Creek Ranch. I've done videos on these that you can check out below or on my channel. But those are, you're definitely have a more rural feel out here. There's also really nice hiking on Red Rock Loop. So the rock feature in front of me, that is Pyramid. And personally, it's one of my favorite hikes, the Pyramid Scorpion Loop. It's about 2 miles. It's punchy. You get incredible views of Cathedral, which again is the big rock. They're all big, but the big rock in front of us, the large rock with the spire in the middle. You've got the Mogollon Rim to the east. We're facing east right now. And I always say that Sedona, you have a reverse sunset where you actually want to be looking east when the sun goes down, because that's where the Mogollon Rim is and a lot of these red rock features that completely light up and simply glow in the evening. Another nice feature about Red Rock Loop Road is you have Oak Creek running along much of it. So several of these neighborhoods or subdivisions, they're near the creek. You can also access the creek on where Crescent Moon Ranch is. I'm going to take us down there actually, so you can see what that's like. Crescent Moon is fabulous, and we'll turn left. So I'll point out to the right here, that is the Pyramid Scorpion Trailhead. Great trailhead. And this is Chavez Ranch Road. So you have your orientation. We're heading east again. And, you know, one thing I'll say about city versus county, right? So there's all pros and cons to everything. But with the county, you have different building requirements, different code requirements than the city. The city of Sedona tends to be a little more stringent, more strict, more particular. But with that, with the city, you do get more cohesion, where the houses have to look a certain way, they have to feel a certain way, and obviously, you know, county's just more lax with things like that. So that is something to consider, and it depends what, you know, you're comfortable with from a home standpoint or what's most important to you. I'm going to turn right here onto Red Rock Crossing so you can see Crescent Moon Ranch. And Crescent Moon Ranch, if you've never been, you certainly give it a Google. It is, how do I explain it? To me, if you're going to live here full time in Sedona, having Oak Creek, which is what runs through Crescent Moon Ranch, is very, it's splendid. You can go down to the creek in the summertime when it's warm out, take a dip, swim even. There's several swimming holes that you're able to, you know, kind of hit and cool off if you're here all summer long, like I often am. And our summers don't get too terribly hot. Nothing at all compared to Phoenix, but you definitely get, you know, it's in the 90s. It can be warm. All right, this is Crescent Moon, so I'll just take you through here. I'm not going to go into the park. I actually don't have my pass right now, which is required, but that's Crescent Moon. And it doesn't look like much from this video, but I promise you, it is one of my absolute favorite places in Sedona. In the summertime, it gets really, really busy where along this road, people tend to park. It kind of annoys the neighbors. See, no parking, tow away. Because a lot of people come up here or from Phoenix to cool off in Sedona and take a dip in the creek. So, all right, continuing onwards. I am not going to continue to the right, so I am going to do another video on Mystic Heights, which I will link below. That is a subdivision. Watch out, bird. That is a subdivision that is, how do I explain Mystic Heights? Well, let me think about that a little. It's fabulous. High-end custom homes, hilly areas where it's the lots are not flat. They're very hilly and somewhat perched feeling. And so you would go to the right to get to that neighborhood, which I will tour. But I say there's two types of people that look at homes in Sedona. You have the perchers, which are the people who like to have soaring, big, huge views and perhaps be on top of a hill. And then you have the nesters, which prefer to be more on the ground, more tucked in. And it's really just a feel that, you know, for yourself, you have to come out here and look and see what feels good. I don't really know what I am personally, because I've lived in both, and both styles of home have a very unique feel to them. So I love having Red Rock views. I love being on the ground. I've lived in both. There's so much diversity in Sedona with homes, and there really is something for everybody, and no two homes are alike, and no two areas are alike. And so that's when people want to come look at homes in Sedona, I try to set up tours where we can look at different pockets like Red Rock Loop Road or West Sedona or Chapel or Uptown or the Village of Oak Creek. So you can really get an experience and a taste of all the different, like I said, pockets of Sedona. So we're back on Red Rock Loop Road right now. And we're going to stay on this until we get back to 89A. And you'll notice again that it's a very different feeling than City of Sedona. So it's a little less, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little less, well, cohesive is one word, but I also think there's beauty in it where you're much more out here in nature, I would say. I mean, in Sedona, you're surrounded by nature, but out here, you definitely feel a certain type of serenity, I think, and remoteness that you don't get in the city. I'm going a little fast, so the speed limit's 25. I'm going a little fast, but So this is a neighborhood to the right, Sherman. There's actually a house for sale right in there right now. I think it's around 1.5 million. Great little neighborhood. No short-term rentals. And here, that's something else I'll touch on since I just brought the topic up. Oh, real quick, hang on. I don't know if you can see, but there is a house perched up in these rocks right here. And many locals and many neighbors do not like that. Nobody really understands how that person got the permits to build a house in the Red Rocks because they're kind of protected and sacred. But anyways, if you come out here and you drive on Red Rock Loop, you will certainly see the house perched up in the rocks. And see, here's everybody looking at the house in the rocks because it's a pretty crazy feat of architecture. So anyways, I was talking about rentals. So yeah, so with this area, which with much of this area not being in an HOA, you can short-term rent. There are some little bed and breakfasts along the road here. There's actually a little RV resort, which has a very interesting past and history to it. Happy to talk about that more if you come out. It's quite interesting, and it's very Sedona. I'll leave it at that. To the left here is how you would access on Lloyd Lane Sedona Ranch, which is another very high-end luxurious neighborhood. I have a video tour that will be linked below. And what was I saying? Sedona Ranch, yeah. So back to Sedona. We're going to just stop at the RV park and not talk about that. But with Sedona Ranch, you have Oak Creek running through it. So many of the lots are actually very grassy and feel like, what you would sort of expect with a creekfront property, very lush with vegetation, and you have lots of animals in the creek, and having creek frontage is certainly something that is highly desired here in Sedona. And of course, that comes out as a higher price on the home. Smoke Trail Lane here to the left is also a really nice road with incredible homes. I believe there was a home that just sold there for around 12 million with some serious acreage. That's a good part of why the price was what it was. But this is the last little section here of really windy road, and then it starts to flatten out. And what I'll say about this section of the road is that even though we don't have the big Red Rock views that we're facing west now, you get really lovely sunsets and twilight hour with the foothills and the mountains and just the landscape itself. So you can't go wrong out here, in my opinion. Another one of my favorite neighborhoods that's coming up here on the left is Cross Creek Ranch, which I have another driving video tour of down below if you want to check that out. And again, super high-end homes, lots that are 2 acres. It's gotten really inspirational out there with some of the designs that people are doing. It's lovely. And adjoining Cross Creek Ranch is Red Rock State Park. And so much of this land out here actually used to all be owned by one family. And over time, that's been sold off to neighborhoods and developers. And there's the sign right there, Red Rock State Park, so to the left. And then this bridge here, if you can see that bridge out there, that's Cross Creek Ranch. That, go check out my video if you're interested in learning more about that. Homes in Cross Creek typically tip right now at the time of this video, December 2023. There's been sales in the low 2 millions and then pushing upper 4s. And there's a lot of homes that have never hit the market in there where people have built them and just, kind of their forever home. Or until life changes, which happens. Life changes and people need to sell, but really beautiful homes out there. And then we just sort of transitioned to the lower Red Rock Loop section. So we're at the bottom of the loop now, and we'll shortly turn more north and head back to 89A. But this is going to be lower Red Rock Loop. So if you were to live in a neighborhood like Cross Creek Ranch, I think, actually I know that this is a lot shorter of a way to go. So you can definitely cruise on this road out here and hightail it back to Sedona. And you're not far from Sedona. I believe you're only, gosh, I want to say maybe 10 to 12 minutes to the western part of Sedona, which is really not bad at all. Oh no, fan down. And the speed limit also picks up. So Red Rock Loop, I think if you're interested in looking at Sedona homes, here's the questions you want to ask yourself is, one, are you okay being a little outside of the city and doing this drive every day? I personally wouldn't have an issue with it, but I know some people, they want to move to Sedona to simplify and not drive as much. So that's a question. Two, utilities, if you're okay being on well, being on septic, unless you're in one of those HOAs that I was talking about. There are also some areas off of the Chavez Ranch Road that have a communal well. So that's something that, the community takes care of, and that's you're working with the community versus being all out on your own. And then three, dealing with the county to build or to do anything versus the city. And again, I'm happy to talk through that with you and pros and cons. But I really think Red Rock Loop Road is a hidden gem with a lot of up and coming neighborhoods. And not that they're up and coming, but it's just continuing to become more and more elevated. So that's always a good place to be from a real estate investment perspective. One more point I want to make here. To the left is Elmerville, and Elmerville Road. There's another community out there called Michael's Ranch, which is a nice subdivision with, I'm trying to think of the style, mostly Southwest style homes, but that's another nice area to definitely check out. Prices are quite a bit lower than Cross Creek, Sedona Ranch, Mystic Heights, but you have that cohesive feel to it, which some people really like. And again, all national forest, so you have a peace and quietness out here and serenity. And that is the great thing about Sedona, in terms, we're never going to have a sprawl per se, like some of these other big metro areas. I personally moved from the Front Range of Colorado, and over time just saw how I didn't live there for too terribly long, but it's very easy to see there how lots and lots of construction, all these towns just continue to sprawl until they become one. So essentially, I really think one day it's just going to be from Denver to Wyoming, all houses, because that's definitely the direction that it's going. So, all right, I'm going to pull over here because this is 89A. So if you were to turn right, you would go to Sedona. And if you were to turn left, you would go to Cottonwood and or Prescott. So I hope that this tour was helpful. And again, my name is Victoria Wylde. I'm a local real estate agent here in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. And I am Sedona Luxury Homes. So that's my website, and that's who I am. So feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call. I'm happy to help you answer any questions that you have about looking at the area. If you want to come to our homes with me, to our lots with me, give me a call. I'm here pretty much 365. I love Sedona. I love everything about it. And I would love to help you in any way I can. So have a wonderful day. Live, love, Sedona.